Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE Friday Night Smackdown on March 8th, 2013. Just go around what stories were continuing, and well, basically for the most part they didn't start any new stories going into WrestleMania. They basically continued all the any of the old ones, the ones that we've subtly seen, and a good focal point around Jack Swagger and Alberto Del Rio and Sheamus, the Big Show. Randy Orton versus The Shield. But for the more minor ones, they had another little subtle point to Layla and Caitlyn. Again, this week, you had Layla out there having Caitlyn's back. Obviously, eventually getting involved that cost Caitlyn that match. I think they're actually going to try to start a kind of feud there where they turn Layla heel, and that could be interesting down the road. And again, this week we had or not this week, but like Monday night, you had a stare down with Ryback and Mark Henry, just furthering the indications that those two are going to feud going into WrestleMania. And I think that could be a real fun one, like I said on the Monday night review. So hopefully they'll continue on and further progress that as the weeks come about. And now I'll basically go on to the Alberto Del Rio Jack Swagger feud and what they've basically been doing. At this point, they've avoided them having any real physical altercation outside of the backstage segment that they had about, I think it was last week on SmackDown. I'm not sure if it was Raw or SmackDown that happened on right now, but that has been pretty much the only physical altercation. Now with what Alberto Del Rio did, making a mockery of the Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter YouTube videos that they've been making, in tow, I was glad that it didn't happen on that night, but it did. It does give an indication that this Jack Swagger needs to retaliate in some way, shape, or form to this, whether it be physical altercation or in some way to make him look strong again, because this has been one of the few times they've made him look weak since he's come back in this sense. And albeit also the way they made fun of those videos was extremely funny, and I found it very entertaining at that point in time. And just what they did with those, just what they did with that feud gives an indication that maybe a physical altercation needs to happen between the two of them somewhere in the near future, whether it be just via tag match or something in the ring that gives a more physical meaning to it versus the promo meaning that they've had this entire time, which they've done extremely well. Now they need to start doing really well on the fact that this is going to be an extremely physical match going into WrestleMania. So hopefully that's what will happen with that feud coming into the near future. The other feud they did a good focus around was the Big Show, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and the Shield feud. Obviously, you had the backstage segment with Big Show where he did his promo saying, he blames Randy Orton and Sheamus for these attacks by the Shield, but he'll more than likely team up with the two of them just to get rid of the Shield, and you saw this in the match. He came when Sheamus and Big Show had their match. Again, fun match, but of course the Shield got involved. And as soon as Big Show came up, he helped clear the Shield, and then he went back to his main focal point, which was Sheamus and Randy Orton. That's a nice way of showing that he's gonna help them with this portion. He still doesn't like them in some way, shape, or form. So he's kind of that tweener type moment instead of being a full face or a full heel. So that's a good way of probably working Big Show into this feud, not making him a full face, full heel, just kind of in the middle. He's going to help them with this and then attempt to knock both of them out. So I like where they're going with that. Other than that, a lot of the matches on SmackDown were a lot of fun to watch. Obviously, they were showing Randy Orton and Ryback in a dominant fashion because they haven't done anything between the two of them in a physical sense. They need to continue making them look dominant in their matches. So they did really well with that. The other aspect, the continuance of the delay of the Fandango the Fandango debut, they keep delaying it because everybody keeps pronouncing his name wrong, or the announcers pronouncing the name wrong. They've basically done that with the three main announce guys, or three main announce people, with Lillian Garcia, Justin Roberts, and Matt Stryker, and it's kind of getting old at this point. You saw a backstage segment with Booker T saying, "Hey, he needs to be in the match. Next time I put him in a match, he better actually do it." So we'll see if there's any consequences going into that. So hopefully they won't continually do this over and over again, because it will get old really, really fast. Though it is doing a good job of putting heel heat on him, which is probably what they're going for at this point. So that's at least the good aspect. Hopefully they don't go on with that for too terribly much longer. Other matches, like I said before, Sheamus and Big Show, that was a fun match to watch. But probably the best match of the night was Alberto Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler. Albeit, I like the promo with Dolph Ziggler right before the match, talking about, how he wants to cash in Money in the Bank. He wants to beat Alberto Del Rio on that night and then cash in. Obviously, this didn't really go down because of because he ends out losing the match. Fun segments on the outside of the ring as well there with Big E Langston, and Ricardo Rodriguez, and AJ Lee. Of course, AJ eventually going into the back after getting embarrassed. All in all, that match itself was just the best match of the night. It came off really well and just very entertaining to watch. So overall, I think they've done really well. They're subtly building a lot of their storylines going into WrestleMania. Nothing new started, but you definitely got a little bit of furthering of all the storylines that they are building around, and probably will continue building into future Raws and future Smackdowns leading into WrestleMania. So they're doing a good job on building their stories. And yeah, that's my review this week for Friday Night Smackdown. I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.